You're watching WMBD, Central Illinois Proud. High Definition, sponsored by Ufkring Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Now, your forecast first, brought to you by Lexus of Peoria.
Well, hey there. Time is 6 a.m. We got another 40 minutes to go until that sun is over the horizon. 38 in Bloomington, at 39 Peoria. We're at freezing in Galesburg. 11 a.m. upper 40s to the upper 50s for that high by 2 o'clock this afternoon. As I am breaking down this quiet stretch of weather for you coming up in a few minutes. But first, WMBD News This Morning continues right now.
America will no longer settle for anything less than the best.
Coming up this morning, we now know who will be the nation's 45th president. We'll have the latest on the new president-elect.
Plus, Wall Street already reacting to the results of the 2016 presidential race. We'll have the latest.
And good Wednesday morning, everyone.
Welcome to WMBD This Morning. It was a long night, tense moments as those numbers came in.
And we're continuing our full election coverage right now.
WMBD is your local election headquarters. Hillary Clinton concedes to Donald Trump to be the next president of the United States. Trump's headquarters are in New York City, and at 1:50 a.m. he began his victory speech in front of supporters and family. Trump tipped his hat to Hillary Clinton for a very hard-fought campaign and says the country owes Clinton for her major debt of service. In his speech, Trump says he will focus on infrastructure and jobs surrounding it and taking care of our veterans. Trump also touched on his economic plan and foreign relations policy.
America will no longer settle for anything less than the best. We must reclaim our country's destiny and dream big and bold and daring. We have to do that. We're going to dream of things for our country, and beautiful things and successful things once again.
The president-elect also thanked his family for the grueling campaign hours and grit. Vice President-elect Mike Pence also spoke on this historic night. Meanwhile, Hillary Clinton admits defeat early this morning. Clinton's campaign manager, John Podesta, speaking to supporters in New York City, telling them that the race was, quote, too close to call at the time and sent the supporters home for the night, but no word, not before, rather, thanking them on Clinton's behalf.
Every person in this hall to know, and I want every person across the country who supported Hillary to know, that your voices and your enthusiasm means so much to her and to Tim and to all of us. We are so proud of you. And we are so proud of her. She's done an amazing job, and she is not done yet.
Podesta did not say when we would hear from Hillary Clinton later on today.
Back here at home, one of Illinois Senate seats flips from red to blue. Congresswoman Tammy Duckworth received about 54% of the vote against incumbent Republican Mark Kirk. The race was being watched nationally as Democrats look to pick up the seat in their effort to retake the upper chamber in Washington. WMBD's Hannah Hilliard was camped at Duckworth's campaign watch party in downtown Chicago.
Well, it was a big night for Democrats, at least when it comes to this Senate race here in Illinois. Representative Tammy Duckworth unseating Senator Mark Kirk, the Democrat, winning the seat from the Republican. Now, the night was called relatively early, within minutes of the polls closing around 7 o'clock. And by an hour and a half in, Tammy Duckworth was on stage giving her victory speech. She talked about wanting to bring the Senate together, unity, and she also talked about focusing on unions and making college more affordable for students.
Thank you, Illinois, for this unbelievable honor and for putting your faith in me. It will not be misplaced.
Now, even though the Senate race was wrapped up relatively quickly, many people did stick around to watch as the presidential poll numbers continued to roll in deep into the night. Reporting in downtown Chicago, Hannah Hilliard, WMBD News.
Now, Duckworth is making a stop in Peoria this afternoon to meet with voters. She will be at the Labor Temple at 2.
Peoria County Republicans also had a reason to celebrate last night. The party had 6 contested races going into the election, with several of their candidates coming away winners. Peoria City Council Councilman Brian Spain is now a state representative. Congressman Darren LaHood was also reelected to the 18th Congressional District. He took over that role after winning a special election in 2015. Several other Republicans also won uncontested races.
Cheering, hugging, and crying. Lots of emotions ran through the Democratic election night party in the Warehouse District at Rhythm Kitchen. Jamie Harwood ran against incumbent Jonna Ingersoll for the position of Peoria County Coroner. The entire night, Harwood was optimistic for the results. And once Harwood found out the final tally, the room erupted in cheers. Tears ran down Harwood's face as he celebrated his win with friends and family.
I'm elated. When I started this journey, I had a group of people that started with me. They followed me all the way through, and it's just amazing. It's amazing to have them all here. If you looked at the crowd, you see all the Harwood for Coroner t-shirts. I had an amazing support system.
Plans are already underway to replace Harwood's current position at OSF St. Francis Medical Center.
Voters also had a chance to weigh in on several referendums. WMBD's Alyssa Paldo joins us now in our newsroom with more on that. Good morning, Alyssa.
Good morning, Lindsay. Yeah, it appears voters in Illinois wanted to change the Constitution. The proposal means that money raised for transportation fixes is used for road and bridge repairs only. The amendment passed with an overwhelming 79% of voters saying yes. There were several other issues on the ballot as well. Peoria County will not increase its share of the sales tax for road improvements and other transportation purposes. The referendum would have increased the tax by 1/4%. 55% of people voted that tax down. 45% voted yes. Another issue on the ballot, an increase in property taxes by 0.5%. 56% of people approved the increase. The money will provide assistance to military veterans, their families, and the families of disabled veterans. It also provides money for services for people with disabilities. And sales tax in Peoria County will go up by an additional 0.5%. 51% of voters approve the increase. This money will be used for improvements to school facilities around the county. And on the statewide level, one of the hot races was for state comptroller. Incumbent Republican Leslie Munger taking on Democrat Susana Mendoza. You probably saw a lot of attack ads between the two. Mendoza now officially comptroller-elect, winning with 49% of the vote, 4% higher than incumbent Munger. 98% of the precincts have reported. The results are still unofficial at this time, and we're closely watching to see when it will be called. Live here in the newsroom, Alyssa Paldo, WMBD News. Back to you.
Thanks, Alyssa. Wall Street reacting to the 2016 presidential race. Overseas markets tanked as the results trickled in last night, and at one point, Dow futures plunged 600 points. The markets had rallied in recent days with the expectation of a Clinton victory.
And for those looking to move to Canada, you might have a little difficulty getting your application process started. The Canadian government's immigration website crashed, and experts believe the U.S. election is to blame. Business Insider reports the site went down around 10:30 p.m. last night Eastern Time and has been spotty ever since. Online searches about becoming a Canadian citizen grew in recent months, particularly after Donald Trump won the Republican presidential nomination.
And Lauren, for those that are staying put in America here in Central Illinois, it's a cool start out there.
Feeling like Canada, that's for sure this morning. It is cold at freezing in Galesburg to Kewaunee. We're at 38 in Bloomington.